have the skill sets of doing sales, it just can't not work. The program, the process that I made in here, thanks to Nick and his team, in March 2025 was the first month that was hitting 20K plus. And I was like, what the fuck is like going on? Like, as I said, in the beginning the journey was slow. When I was at the other coach, it wasn't that fast. I was like from 1 month from earning 3K to earning 8K. Like right now I'm hitting consistently 20 plus. It was like a whole other world for me. Yeah. Because like traveling, meanwhile when you're earning money is something, I think it's like the biggest goal for most of the guys outside. I remember I was going to Dubai and I returned, and we did spend a lot of money there. But at the end, if I returned, I had more money on my bank account than when I started. And I was like, how?
What's up guys, and welcome to this video. As you can see today with a different background, and I'm excited to record this interview with our client Samuel, who's been absolutely crushing it since he joined the Art of Closing program, and I'm excited to share a bit of your story. It's good to have you here visiting me in my hometown Düsseldorf, as we've got this amazing backdrop.
It's actually really beautiful in here.
Yeah, I've actually visited Samuel in South Tyrol, where he's from, and it's been beautiful also. Yeah. I've been looking at some real estate properties that you were looking at to potentially buy at 20 years of age. Let's jump into a bit of your story. I mean, your story in remote sales actually started before you joined our program, right?
Yeah.
It's also a funny story to share how you got into the space. If you want to share how you ended up getting into remote sales, I think it's pretty funny for people to listen into.
Yeah, it was a sort of, strange thing, because actually my mom saw an ad about an online coach, a sales coach, and she just came to me and said, well, Samuel, you want to do that? And then at one point, in the beginning, I was like, nah, it's scam or some stuff like that. But then she convinced me, and I started off, and yeah, then the journey began, let's put it like that.
So you joined a sales mentoring with another coach, not our program. How did that go? So how did things go? What results did you get there? Yeah,
so I started off, at the beginning it went really roughly, I'd say. But then after many months and a lot of practice, it came out at 3-4K per month. I was hitting. For that time it was crazy for me, because like from getting to earn $0 to like 4 or 5K, earning a salaries of, I don't know, some lawyers in Italy where I live. It was sort of crazy, but yeah, then...
And I know that you told me you've never worked a job. So right after school, your mom said, this is it, remote sales, get into it. I saw this ad. And then when you were at 3-4K a month, what was missing for you to hit bigger goals? I mean, I'm not saying this to sound cocky, but 10K per month in this industry is nothing special. It's an amazing milestone, and it is life-changing money already. But you know what's special is hitting multiple five figures consistently in this industry. So what was missing for you?
There were some parts. I think one really big part was mindset, but also the skill set. Because I was lacking of skill set. At that point, I thought that I was like the greatest of every closer ever existing, but I was like at 5% of the skill sets that I've reached right now. So I think mindset and skill set and the opportunities. The opportunities was also one of like the biggest leverages that I had, next to, of course, the value that I got and the mindset that flipped.
So when did you become a client, and what changed at that
I became
point?
a client in October. It was like, I think at the end of October, when we met ourselves through a application video, and yeah, I became a client in October, at the end of October.
So you became a client end of October, November last year, 2024. How did things go? How did you progress from there?
Yeah, the journey was, like as I said, in the beginning the journey was slow. When I was at the other coach, it wasn't that fast. Of course, I made my 3-4K, which was crazy at that time. But as soon as I got a new offer, started to learn just small things, thanks to Nick and his team, I was like from 1 month from earning 3K to earning 8K in like not even 20 days. And earning 8K in maybe in UK and America it's not that much, but for me, like at 19 years old in Italy, where the average like salary is 1.2K, was crazy. It was something that I could never expect, and yeah, that was like the first jump that I've made, let's put it like that.
Okay. And how did you progress from there numbers-wise? I mean, that's why people get into sales, right? I want to touch on that real quick. for most people the goal is 10K, to hit that milestone, right? But what I tell everybody who starts this journey is you only get to appreciate it once you've lived through it. But the person you become in the process is the main reward that you're getting. Sure, the life-changing money is great, and that's why we all start. Same thing with me. But the person you become, the feedback loop that you're in of improving so much faster than if you just worked a normal job, that's the real reward. And your personal progression speaks for itself. You're 20 years of age, people meet you and they don't think that. Because of the way you communicate, you express yourself, and the high goals that I know you have for yourself. So back to the numbers, if you will, how did things progress after being in the program a few months?
Yeah, so as I said, first month getting in 8K, I was like at the moon. So it was like, for me, it was crazy. And then I was just reviewing the numbers with you. I remember when I was me at home, when we both had the Zoom conference, and you told me, damn Samuel, there's like many space for you to like grow even more. And I was like, how? And then we got on. I know you reviewed a lot of my calls. And then at one point, I remember it was January 2025, which is like this year. And it was the first month that I was hitting 12.4K US dollars in cash collect. And I was like, what the fuck is like going on? So I didn't understand anymore if it was like reality or not, but it was the first month. And from then we just proceeded to do the same steps that we did previously, but like even one step like next to each other.
Yeah.
So first step was, as I said, that 12K in January. And then I remember when I was visiting you in Dubai in March 2025 was the first month that was hitting 20K plus. And I remember it was like 22,500, something like that. It was like a whole other world for me. Yeah. Because like traveling, meanwhile, when you're earning money is something, I think it's like the biggest goal for most of the guys outside. I remember I was going to Dubai and I returned, and we did spend a lot of money there. But at the end, if I returned, I had more money on my bank account than when I started. So that was like mind-blowing stuff for me also to discover. And yeah, from then on, we had the same number consistently. And now we're one step closer to your 30, goals. 35, yeah.
So after becoming a client, we basically took Samuel from 3K a month and not having, I mean, you had the sales skill set, but we certainly added a lot to it. Yeah. But what was really missing was connections to the right companies.
Yeah.
And when it comes to what we do inside the Art of Closing, we have connections to over 500 companies in the info space where we've spent multiple six figures and years actually acquiring these connections in the space, attending masterminds, investing into getting to know people. And that's how now we're able to place our clients in businesses with over 500 companies in the space, doing 7, 8, 9 figures a year. And yeah, the company we got you in is making millions. So you participate in that, you're closing a lot for them. And like you mentioned, you get to, either close deals from South Tyrol, which is nice and calm, or actually make money where other people are on vacation in beautiful Dubai.
Yeah, I think though, like having a company where you can like show your skill sets is the most important thing for you to do. I mean, of course, you can do a lot of calls, a lot of training calls, get mentored by the best people around. But if you don't have the court where you can show the things that you're able to do, to perform, then you're not going to earn a lot of money. And that's why it's so crazy for me to actually learn the stuff that I need to do great sales calls, and afterwards even show it at company where I know that they'll have the potential to give me the leads, that they trust me, and where I got to step in thanks to the team. Yeah.
And you did great. I mean, after being inside the Art of Closing, then in March, like you mentioned, you visited me and the team in Dubai, and you decided to upgrade into a private one-on-one client program. And your next goals are what? What's next for you? For me, the next goals are, of course, like right now I'm hitting consistently 20 plus, but the goal is to get into a place where I can earn 40, 50K USD every single month. And from there on, of course, I'll go to start my own business. Because one thing that I realized, which was also the thing how my mother actually convinced me to get into high ticket sales, was if you're able to speak to people and to do sales, then you'll be a good entrepreneur by itself, because those are the fundamental skills that you'll need in every entrepreneurship that you're going to do in your future. So that's also a mind-blowing thing, because in every step of being an entrepreneur, you got to talk to people, you got to sell something, because that's how economy works,
And if you have those fundamentals and you know how sales work, you maybe also were in companies that already make millions, you can look at it for free. You can look at all of their programs, which people pay millions for every single month. You are 20 steps ahead of someone who starts the same business from zero.
Yeah. I mean, like in anything, let's take sports. For me, it's always combat sports that I use as an example. And let's take boxing, right? You don't start off doing super difficult stuff. You learn the basics like footwork and a good jab, right? And getting started in remote sales is the same thing if you look at entrepreneurship. Because instead of running a business, taking care of marketing, building a team, sales, right, running ads, investing back into the business, all the stuff that's involved, how about you just start with one thing and get really good? I say this to so many people, but if you close deals online, you can easily make 10K commission. Commission is profit, right, per month. And then reinvest it into the business. Plus, you get to learn from people who already are making millions per month. You're part of their team. You're basically getting an apprenticeship for free and get paid in the process. Like that's how I got super excited on being on the teams of guys that are already making 8 figures. And I learned so much in the process for then growing my own business. And yeah, it's the best first step, and if you ask me. So you've certainly taken the right steps, but I also want to go back in time and ask you why, does it sound so easy when I ask you this? What struggles did you maybe have along the way, and what advice would you give people that are getting started or that are not hitting the same numbers just yet when it comes to pushing through plateaus and becoming better, improving your skill set?
So I wouldn't say that it's easy at all, but I'd say that it's simple. Because if you look up like every other method where you can get an entrepreneur, earn a lot of money online, there's always a really, really, really big amount of risk. But if you have the skill sets of doing sales, it just can't not work. Because if you put in the grind and work and actually do the stuff that you're required to do to get somewhere where you want to be, in sales there's no possibility for you to fail. If you start work, you can't fail. And that was also a big step for me, that I said, okay, damn, that's actually smart what my mother told me to do. So that was a really big realization for me, I'd say.
Yeah, sales teaches you a lot also on a personal level, because it holds you accountable. If you're stuck in a job, right, and you get your salary every month, you're not really incentivized to grow, learn and improve yourself. But if you're earning on commission, right, and you actually have to make sure that you improve along the way to make more money, right, that's a catalyst to becoming better as a human. And in our private one-on-one client program, it's also not just your sales ability and how much money you make. I know we speak a lot about other stuff like company setups and where you want to see yourself in future, also building your company and everything. But also being grateful on a personal level, because for you, you've never worked a normal job. I remember being a cashier and then a personal trainer and earning minimum wage, which is why I'm extremely grateful for now living the life I live. But for you, how is it to come out of school, get into this opportunity and suddenly make 20K a month at 20 years of age?
So to give you my honest feedback, for me right now, if I think back, it would have been awesome if I'd go to do the stuff, cashier stuff that you did, because my standards became really, really, really high. Because if you go out of school and then like after 1.5 years you earn 20K a month, you don't know how it is to eat shit, let's put it like that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm really grateful for everything that I meet you guys, that I can live in the situation where I'm right now. But it would have been good for me, for my personality, to actually have gone through the stuff that you've gone through, like being a fitness coach. When you remember you told me earning 500 euros a month. I think for my personality would have been great if I had actually did something like that.
That's something we also work on now, like in hindsight. It's if you are just in it for the money, and again, I've touched on this, yes, we all go into it for the money. That's the main reason, because money is important if you want to, finance things, help your family and just be free in life. But at the same time, if you just do it for the money, let's say you just do it to reach 10K. You reach the 10K and now what? Like your purpose, if it is just making that money, at some point it's going to be fulfilled. What now? What drives you, right? So it's so important for you to do this for more than money, of enjoying the journey, enjoying the process, learning, growing as a human, and enjoying the journey is so important. Yeah. That's why when people tell me, oh, when this I'll be happy, or when I get to this number, then this will happen. I'm like, that's all amazing, but always focus on the now. right? Enjoy the journey. Enjoy being at 5K a month, you know, enjoy working yourself out of your 9 to 5. Like, you were so privileged that your mom after school got you started in remote sales. Most people, actually all of our clients, get started part-time. Enjoy the difficult times. The times I now enjoy talking about the most is when I got started in sales, when I had the first few successes, when closing a deal and making a few $100 on a sales call was like crazy. And yeah, that's why we always say appreciate like the times where you get started.
Trust in the process.
Trust in the process, for sure. You trusted in the process. I mean, you invested a lot of money into yourself at a very young age, right? You invested multiple 5 figures into your education. Where does that mindset come from? From, again, a 20-year-old who just finished school to say, hey, instead of, I don't know, going on holiday with that, invest it into yourself.
It came from your side and from the team side. Because you guys sort of gave me the mindset that I didn't have at that point. Because of course, I mean, I was a young guy earning that amount of money. I could have spent it on, I know, nice cars, some jewelry or stuff like that.
More holidays, more yachts.
Holidays. But you sort of reframed my whole state of thinking. You told me the things that you did wrong when you were in my situation, and told me how I should think about stuff, how I should reframe my whole money mindset. Because I know a lot of people don't have the money mindset out there, and I didn't have it too at that point. And that's why I say that the program, the process that I made in here, it wasn't only regarding to my sales skill. It was also, it helped me also in my personal life, how I take decisions. It doesn't matter if it's crypto or if it's relationship advices, it's sales forms the character, I'd say. And yeah, my character got formed by doing some sort of really big investments for me in my future.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to add. I mean, when it comes to the journey that you've gone on, it certainly has a lot more pages left in the book to write, and I'm very, very excited to continue being part of your journey. And yeah, just blowing up this case study, which it already is. And yeah, can't wait to have you back in Dubai very soon.
Yes, November.
I mean, if you want to share a bit with people, what's like your plan from here? I know you already said that you want to reach bigger goals, build your own company, but what's happening in the near future, potentially?
Don't want to go too much into detail, let's say that, but for me right now the plan is in November to put myself in an environment where I can grow even more. Because as I said, where I live right now, there's like no people. Earning money online is something
you need
that
more competition.
Never heard about, and other stuff, and I'm too comfortable. So for me, I want to put myself in Dubai, where I'll be one of the brokest people in there, and I want to put myself in uncomfortable situations for me to grow and to even learn from guys that are at the other level than me, you, the other guys of the team. So just for me to go there, learn, grow, and get to my goals even faster. Of course, afterwards, as I already said previously, the goal is to make an own company. And yeah, but I don't want to go too much in detail about that.
We'll get there, and then we won't talk about the future, but what has happened when we record another interview. That's it, guys, for this interview. I definitely enjoyed this one. Hope you guys did too. And we'll enjoy a few more days here in Düsseldorf before you travel back to South Tyrol. And then I'll see you in November in Dubai. It was a pleasure, man. Let's go.